Hello everybody out there in the music community. This is Michael Soldier 777 Comanche here. On this episode we'll be discussing my top 15 favorite bands in mostly Christian rock, hard rock, and metal. So Christian oriented bands with a few honorable mentions. But before I do that, if you're new to my channel, I appreciate you like, comment, subscribe below. And if you have subscribed to my channel, please comment, like below, and I appreciate if you spread word about my channel. They'll help me reach my goal of reaching 200 subs. Let's get right to it. So let's mention some honorable mentions before I get to my top 15. These three bands get some talk in the music community. So first up we have, and also me showing the albums that got me into these bands. First up we have Angelica, their self-titled debut, came out in '89, which features Rod Rock on vocals of Impellitteri. So this is a pretty good album. Now my favorite album from them was pretty good. I prefer the second one over this one, but it's a great start to a great band. And plus to Dennis Cameron, which is the band's built around him. He formed a band, and bassist Robert Pollner are both Canadian. So there's a Canadian-based band, which is also great as well. Next up we have Idle Cure, Second Avenue. Another great band. They only put out 5 albums. Well, I'd like for them to come up with more albums, but that don't seem to be in the plans right now. They're no longer active at the moment. But this is the album got me into the band, Second Avenue. This album reminds me a lot of Kiss. Some of their guitar riffs on this. So if you like Kiss, I definitely recommend check out Idle Cure, Second Avenue. There you have it. They came out with 5 albums. 2 more after this one, and 2 before this one. Great album. Also, we have Sacred Warrior, Master Command. This is the first album I heard from the band. Came out in '89. I had it on cassette. Great band. Came out with 5 albums so far. I think there's another one in the works as well, which is great to hear that as well. So Sacred Warrior, Second Avenue. Another great band, another great album. All right, now that my honorable mentions are out of the way, let's get right to the top 15 favorite bands of all time. So first, number 15, we have Theocracy. And this is Mirror of Souls, came out 2008. It's the second album. This is the album that got me into the band. A lot of great stuff in this one. Just every song is this one good. This is a digibook version I got of this. It's sort of in the form of a book. About a while back. I think it's somewhat rare. So here's the lyrics and everything inside, and it's sort of like it's kind of looks like a book, and the CD's in the back. There you have it, and it also contains a bonus track, Wages of Sin, as well. So of course, you got a 20-minute epic, Mirror of Souls, and every song is good. So therefore, Theocracy, Mirror of Souls, number 15 favorite bands of all time. Next up, number 14, we have Whiteheart. There you have it. I got in this band around '86, fall of '86, with this album Going for Movie. Great album. Also had a accompanying video of this. They played so many songs live in concert, which I think I might have taped off. I'm not sure. But yeah, the first 3 albums. This is the 4th album. The first 3 albums sort of is not bad. I don't have those albums, but this is where they pretty much kind of went into that more of a rock direction, and with a little bit of elements of hard rock as well on some of their songs. So Whiteheart Going for Movie, number 14. Next up we have Whitecross, and this is the album got me into the band. This is the debut album, came out in '87. They came out with around 9 albums, I think. As you may know, they put one last year as well. After being on hiatus for a long time. And I think they're working on a new album at the moment. So hopefully it'll come out soon. So Whitecross, great band. It's number 13. Next up we have number 12 is Joshua. Now, as you may know, I mentioned before about Angelica, their debut. Rod Rock sang vocals on this one. He also sang vocals on this album, Intense Offense. And this album got me into the band. Either that one or Surrender, but I figured I'd show this one. I prefer this one over Surrender. Surrender's a great album too. Surrender originally came out in '85. This one came out in '88. But Joshua, Intense Offense, great band. He passed on last year. Um, but they came out with 5 or 6 albums, so great band. This is number 12. Number 11. And I only recently got into this band past since around 21. I started buying all their music, and to me, um, I've been listening to music ever since then. All their albums, I got all their albums, and to me, this might be their best album. But I have to check into it further. But here's Narnia, um, great band from Sweden. I find Sweden got some great bands coming out there over the years. Oh man, you know. But yeah, Narnia, Swedish metal band, features CD Grimmark on guitars, um, um, Christian Lindgren on vocals, and the other band members are quite talented as well. So there you have it, Narnia, great band. This is number 11. Number 10. Now we're getting to the top 10, and things staying with me so far. We have Deliverance, great band. Back in 1991, 1990, I think around early 90, I think it was. I got in this band, had their album, first album taped off, and back in summer '91, I bought the first two albums on cassette, which are these two, the debut and Weapons of Warfare on cassette. I would be cranking those in my car, um, back during that time. So Deliverance, what more can we say about those guys? You guys all know these guys, great band. Next up, we have Cantamplin and Shout. I'm going to combine the two into one because where Cantamplin is an integral part of Shout and his own solo material. This is what got me into the artist. Cantamplin was these 3 albums back in the day, around 1990-91 period. Here you have it. Shout, In Your Won't Be Long, In Your Face, and this first solo album. That's what got me into Cantamplin. So there you have it. Cantamplin Shout is number 9. Number 8. Another Canadian band, the Daniel Band. Oh my, this is probably one of my favorite albums of all time. I remember having a neighbor who was into some Christian rock and hard rock, and I was aboard his cassette lot from him a lot, many times. Yeah, and eventually, so another friend gave me the record to this album, and I taped off from that record. I had the record for a while, I lost it, but I do have it again on vinyl as well. So glad I have it again on vinyl. But Daniel Band, Run from Darkness, this is what got me into the band, and they've only put out 5 albums, from '82 to '88. I heard they're working on a new album. I hope that comes to fruition. Dan McCabe mentioned that him and Tony Rossi a while back, a year or two ago, are thinking of have talks of coming with an album. Hope that happens. I guess Dan McCabe is a pastor as well currently, so I guess a lot of his time devoted to his ministry, but hopefully it'll happen soon. So Daniel Band, great Canadian band. There you have it, number 8. Number 7, we have another Swedish band, Jerusalem. There you have it. When I first bought this on cassette back in the day, and back in '85, 85, early '86, and I got this on cassette as well back in the day, and I became a huge fan, especially with those reissues that the Boots Overstock came out with back in 2018 of the first 6 albums. These are 2 of those reissues. Great band. Over the years, they put out about 10 or 11 albums over the years since '78. And they have a new album they put out back in 23 called Stiggen, which means stitches in Swedish. I haven't got that one yet. I'm waiting for the English version to come out as well, which I think they're working on. But Ulf Christian is also a pastor like Dan McCabe. So I think I guess a lot of his time is devoted to his ministry. So hopefully that English version will come in quite soon. There you have it. And also the band still tours this day as well. So, all right, that's number 7. Now we're getting to the top 6. And next up we have Bloodgood. And what more can I say about this band? Bloodgood, awesome band. Yeah, I mean, great band. And I'll incorporate Les Carlson in that band as well because it's such an integral part of that band. and he put a solo album back in 2022. He is working on another one, which should be out this year. So I'm going to incorporate Les Carlson / Bloodgood, because some of the members of Bloodgood worked on the Les Carlson album as well. Surviving members of Bloodgood. As we know, Michael Bloodgood passed away a year or two ago as well. So yeah, Bloodgood, number 6 of my favorite bands of all time. I think my favorite album from this band, which I don't have here, I'm not showing here right now, is probably Out of Darkness. That's probably my favorite album from this band. But this album was the one that got me into the band in the first place. Bloodgood self-titled came in '86. Okay, folks, we're now getting to the top 5 favorite albums. So first up, we have Rez. And these 3 albums got me into the band. Bootleg, Hostage, and Between Heaven and Hell. And these are probably I don't know if they're my favorite albums of all time. Sound Screams are pretty good up there too, but they're pretty close. This one here is a bit divided, where they got some new wave pop stuff and hard rock metal they're known for, but still got some good quality tracks in this one. This is Hostage came in '84. This is Bootleg, which came in '84 as well, and this is Between Heaven and Hell came in '85. So when I got in '85, Rez was one of the first bands I got into. So this band is number 5 of my favorite bands of all time. Number 4, we have Impellitteri. Number 4. Great band. I got this band back in 2007. I heard of them back in the late '80s when they had an album Stand in Line back then. But I didn't get into until about 2007, because I became a fan of Rob Rock at the time, around 2007. So I started exploring Impellitteri back in the day. Impellitteri. It was around, I think, I should have shown Scream Symphony. I think that was an album that got me into them. And I think this one was too, and either Hurricane. So it was around the mid-90s, 94 to 98. This came out in '94, Screaming Symphony came out in '96, and Other Hurricane came out in '98. It was during the period of those albums that came out in the '90s that got me into them in 2007. They were the first 3 albums I started exploring from Impellitteri, along with Stand in Line, which I already knew about back in the late '80s, or knew somewhat of Stand in Line as well. So yeah, so those 3 albums in the '90s got me into Impellitteri. There you have it. All right, coming up we have the top 3 bands. That was number 4. This is number 3 of my favorite bands of all time. Here we have Saint. You guys all know Saint. They're still active right now. Just put an album last year, but this album got me into the band. Remember having bought the pure metal version on cassette back around '87. It was around that time period, late '86, I think it was early '87, early mid '87. I bought it on cassette, and I was blown away back in the day. Yeah, it was '87. Yeah, mid early '87. I got on cassette, Times In, and this is probably my favorite This is my favorite album from the band Saint. It was Times In, because that was the album they had when I got into them. Great album, great band. Not a bad track on the album. Every song's good in this album. My favorite one's being Steel Killer, I think, on this one. So great album, great band. Saint, number 3. Number 2, we have the band Petra. And it was around this time period that got me into the band. It was these CDs. It was More Power to You, Now This World, Beat the System, and the live album. And the same neighbor had a Dane Band cassette, had these 3 CDs, cassettes, back in the day. I used to borrow these off him, I think, back in the day, these cassettes. And this is the first album I bought from Petra, was Captain Thomas Space on cassette back in hot July of '86. And I became a fan. So there you have it. That was around that period I got into Petra. So number 2, favorite band of all time. My number one favorite band of all time, if you've been watching my channel, you know who this band's gonna be. It's gonna be Stryper. There you have it. They're my favorite band of all time. And after hearing Black Attack, Soldier of Command, and then when this album came out, man, what a album! What a time! What an album! 12 the Devil. It went past going platinum. It was in Metal Edge. It was everywhere. Stryper was everywhere, and that was the album that solidified me being a favorite band. They were probably a favorite band even when Soldier came out, but it was definitely my favorite band since this one came out. And I heard of Stryper, I believe just before Soldier came out, around mid to early '85. When I first heard of Stryper or became a fan, that kind of stuff. That's when I first heard of them. And back in '86, in May of '86, when I first bought bought Soldier Command cassette. It was the first time I bought any albums on cassette. I had the first two taped out before that. But yeah, Stryper. But I bought this one back when it came out in October. My parents gave to me the generic cassette, the censor cassette with the black cover with the band logo and the album title. Back in December '86. That was when my parents bought the cassette, and I became they became my favorite band. So Stryper is my number one favorite band. There you have it, guys. There you have it, folks. That's my top 15 favorite bands of all time. Figure I mentioned to you too is that some of these ranks are pretty tight. Few of them may be interchangeable, but I think my top 4 or 5 is pretty much etched in stone. Also, too, when I rank my favorite bands, I pretty much ranked them based on they had to have 5 or more albums out of professional quality music, and they don't have to be active. So they do have to be currently active. Now, another favorite band of mine is X Sinner. I could have mentioned it in honorable mentions, but X Sinner only has about 5 albums out. They got their first 2, Peace Treaty. Sorry, yeah, Get It and Peace Treaty, and they also have they put out in 2001 like a compilation of demos, and then in 2003 they put out Angry Einsteins. This is more of an alternative / hard rock album. Angry Einstein's X Sinner. Then in 2006 they re-recorded Peace Treaty. In 2008 they put out World Covered in Blood and working on a new album. So technically X Sinner only has around 3 albums under the name X Sinner of professional quality albums. Because Loud and Proud was a demo one, came in 2001. And Angry Einstein's under a different name. I could have counted them. They're also a top band of mine. They could be an easy mention my honorable mentions because they're one of my favorite bands as well. So honorable mentions. So that's one band I didn't mention. Anyway, folks, all the best. Have a great day, and hope you like this video. Like, comment below. Bye now.